Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Professor Norman Cornett, religious studies scholar, art critic, and curator. Here, before the works of Maggie Romanevici, a triptych that she created entitled Abstract in Yellow. These are oil on canvas. The work particularly draws me in because of the vertical thrust of this work on the easel, as though this were an ascension, a rising, moving above. The artist here creates a sense of movement, of motion, rendering the work dynamic. And when we look at the two other works in this triptych by Maggie Romanevici, we see that she has created, in effect, this abstraction serves as the fulcrum, the equipoint, creating the balance, or as Edward Albee, the acclaimed American author, playwright, would call it, I refer to these as Maggie Romanevici's delicate balance. Because we see in the two works here how she builds up this dynamic tension that is resolved by the axis of the triptych. The vertical work here, in effect, serves as a counterweight, a counterbalance to the gyrating, almost the centrifugal force of the other two abstractions in this triptych. I'm particularly intrigued when I look at this work, for example, at how it has a compositional coherence. We would almost think that by virtue of centrifugal force, that the composition, that the work is disintegrating. But quite the contrary. It is almost as though she has created a constellation. There is something cosmological indeed about each of these three works in the triptych, Abstract in Yellow. And she uses a minimum of forms, but these forms are in constant motion. The implicit movement in these works, it's almost as though we're looking at something stellar, something as would happen in the cosmos, in the universe. Rather than the death of a star, a black star, we seem to be in the presence of the birth of stars, something that renders the work universal, as in the universe, as though we're seeing the act of creation happening in space. This also explains, I believe, why there's such energy. This almost as though it's volcanic, that it's erupting and creating through this cosmological chaos. There are stellar, astral, cosmological creations. And look how she's employed just a few basic colors. Here, the background is black, whereas in the other two works, the background is gray. And we have a dash of orange, and we have black. So that on the chromatic scale, she's a minimalist. And when we look at the history of contemporary art, of modern artists, I immediately think of the works of Joan Miró and the surrealistic school established by Juan Miro. Somehow these works, they move, they vibrate, so that Maggie Romanovicci has created organic art, living art, albeit in abstraction. Through abstract art, this lives. I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to discover the art of Maggie Romanovicci on the social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, but also on her website, Maggie Romanovicci Art Studio. I'm Professor Norman Cornett, religious studies scholar, art critic, and curator.